Let's dye my blonde mohawk rainbow. I have bright red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, and just did a video showing how I got my hair this blonde, so that's step 1, and let's move on to color. I'm starting by combing out my hair so it's easier to section out where each color is going. I'm clipping my hair out of the way before smearing Vaseline all over the sides of my head to prevent the colors from bleeding all over when I rinse it out at the end, so the sides stay blonde and the color is only on the mohawk. Then Harrison came to help with the parts I can't see and Vaseline to the back section so he could get a precise line right next to the mohawk but not overlapping. We decided to measure the length of my mohawk so we could divide it by 6 so each section was even, and we used his 1-inch tattoo to measure as we went. We're starting with the back, and I'm using Purple Haze by Manic Panic, which is a rich purple, and he's using a small brush to get a precise application and then laying it on my neck to get each piece out of the way. Then we put some saran wrap on top to keep that from bleeding into the blue, and for that I used Manic Panic's dye in Lilacs, which ended up being pretty similar to the purple, but I couldn't tell from the packaging, but I noticed after he started painting and he was like, "Are you sure this is the blue you want to use?" And I was like, well, it's too late now, so yes. We covered that with saran wrap, and then it was time for green, so I used Strawberry Leopard dye for my first time, and it was in the shade Money, which is a beautiful bright green, and we put that into a bowl so it'd be easier to apply. He likes to start from the roots and around the edges of where the mohawk meets the buzz cut, so it's easier to then fill in the rest without worrying about messing up the edges. And for my first time using Strawberry Leopard, I was very happy with how the color came out, and the color definitely reminded me of Money. We saran wrapped that, then used another Strawberry Leopard dye called You're My which ended up being my favorite of the two because it was such a perfect bright yellow, and that's exactly what I was looking for this rainbow mohawk. The saran wrapping on this one was so important since the yellow is the lightest color and anything can bleed into it easily, so he was as precise as possible with this one. For orange, I used Lunar Tide's Neon Tangerine, which looks a little reddish in the bottle, but don't worry, it's actually a pretty true bright neon orange color once you put it on platinum hair, and actually really reminds me of a tangerine if you were to make it slightly more neon of a color. We covered that one up, and then it was time for the last color, and I'm using Rock and Roll Red by Manic Panic, and I'm doing this one myself since I can finally see the section in the mirror. I think it was the perfect color to do at the front because it's perfectly red and nice and bright and looks really good when you see me front on. So this is what we're looking like, and when I carefully rinsed it out, I still got red on my eyebrow and a little on the side, so I'm vitamin C'ing those spots, but from the back you can see it's such a beautiful color combo, other than the blue literally being the same as the purple. But it's okay because those are in the back, and I learned my lesson for next time. The colors turned out super vibrant, which I love, and everything except the back two were very distinct and bright colors, which was perfect for when I styled it, and the goal was to do a perfectly dramatic Liberty spikes, but I'm gonna show you how I did this in my next video, so check back for that one in a few days. I feel like the baddest punk baddie in this style, and it was literally my dream mohawk, so I'm really glad it turned out this well, and you guys are gonna scream when you see the pics from the photo shoot on IG. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and hope you're all having a great day.